up, everybody? Welcome to episode 889 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John. And Michelle, we have a new guest host this week. Bill.
We have Bill from Bill's Garage. Are you a car guy, Bill?
That's right. I am a car guy. I'm Bill, the wannabe host, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much, guys, for being so kind to me, even though I screwed up this morning.
That's
but yeah,
all
I'm a car
right.
guy. I'm a mechanic.
We're used to Matt. Matt was not professional.
You're a mechanic, huh?
Yeah. Listen, I'm here for two things. I want to save that $1.99 a month because that could really go to like bread and groceries. And
we're not going to give that to you free. I mean,
cars.
come on now. You still got to, you want to hear, no, we're happy to have you. And we're trying out guests for the next couple of months, as you guys know, for the third host slot. So if you want to get
This might go on forever, by the way.
I'd like to pick up
No, it's over after today. This is it. We're done.
It need to be over
We're done.
tonight. But of course, we've got a fun episode. And next week we have Ben Heck joining us, who I know some of you guys listening are a fan of his channel. We've had him on before. So if you have any questions for Ben Heck, please do email us, contact@videogameoutsiders.com. We'll ask him all sorts of stuff about Switch 2, maybe the new 50 series cards. He's a hardware guy. He's a pinball guy. John, you've done arcade stuff with him. So that's going to be fun. That's next week.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. That's right. Tonight we've got a good show, though. A lot of games to talk about and some news. The Xbox event went on. Bill, I know you watched it. You can talk to us about that. We'll get your thoughts.
Yeah, Bill, so I have an FJ Cruiser, and it's been cold.
Oh my God, an FJ Cruiser? Are you serious? Oh no, that's a great car, actually. That's a Toyota. Actually, I want one of those.
It's a fabulous car, 2008. And since it started getting cold, my parking brake, or e-brake, as the kids say, because I have 6-speed, and it's been locking up, Bill. And I bring it to the mechanic, and then it would warm up, and then he can't find the problem, and he thinks maybe the rotors have warped. What do you think?
Really
Nah, usually when you have warp rotors, you get like a shake. That's not what
I
that
do
is.
get a shake in the rear end.
Well, then
I
yes,
get a
you
shake
should
in
do
my
your
rear
rear
end
brakes and
too.
rotors.
That's
Yeah.
something
So
different.
I get a shake in the rear end, and if you mess around with the parking brake, you can get it to go away.
It's your shoes. You got to get better heels, John. You're not. Yeah, you'll get it the right.
Sometimes you can actually adjust the parking brake cable from inside the car. Have you tried YouTube?
Yeah,
no, I
Bill's
haven't.
Garage.
Of course not. Of course not. You've done nothing for yourself. You're not trying to fix any of your problems, John.
No.
I've
Try YouTube.
fixed enough problems.
He's pampered. He tells me he's salt of the earth and I'm the pampered princess. We're finding out the truth here, John, that you
I've
aren't doing
fixed
it for
plenty
yourself.
of things.
It's so funny. I was literally going to ask you both what you drive. I was really curious. So Toyota's a great car. I thought you were a Ford F-150 guy. Michelle, do you drive a Mercedes?
No, I have an Audi. Or an Audi.
Okay, well, that fits. Fancy girl.
What?
That fits. Makes sense to me.
My
Miss
sister
Fancy.
just bought a car I'm really jealous of. She has a new Toyota Land Cruiser, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So it reminds me of my old Jeep Wrangler clearance-wise.
That looks like a newer version of mine, but it's hybrid, and I don't think I can do that.
Well, it's fine,
Toyota
actually.
Land Cruiser?
It
Is
has
that a
great
thing?
acceleration.
It looks like my car. It looks like the FJ Cruiser.
They're really
version
great.
2.
I love how high up it is and how great the visibility is, and it's like really a gorgeous looking car from the outside. The ride is like a little rough though, so I kind of still prefer mine.
See, I like that. I don't want any shit in my cars
stiff.
anymore.
I like stiff steering. I don't like loosey goosey
Stiff
steering.
Okay.
I do.
You don't like a
lady
good
likes it stiff.
70,
You should get a
75
BMW
Impala?
then.
I should.
You should get a BMW if you like stiff handling, Michelle.
I know.
For sure.
Yeah, I've heard. I've never driven one, but yeah, I've heard that people mention
Once
it
you
as well.
drive one, you're done. My wife has a BMW.
Okay.
She'll never get out of it. I worked for BMW for 10 years.
Okay.
I don't really advise that you get one, but once you drive it,
Expensive
man,
to repair
that's it.
and annoying. Yeah, I know. Well, okay, we'll get into more car talk later. Maybe it'll come out because John, you played a car game tonight. Is this perfect to have Bill on because you played
That's right.
nice.
Extreme Racer?
Yeah, but we could talk about all the cars
Good.
I drove. Actually,
That's right.
one.
This is great.
gonna
Mazda
be fun.
Roadster. I don't know what you think about that.
That's right. We'll get
A
all of
Mazda?
Bill's car
Yeah.
tips. That's going to be our
Mazda's
new
okay.
segment.
Toyota is the best. I will be honest.
They go forever.
I drive a Jeep Wrangler.
I used to
Yeah,
have one. I
I've
loved
done
them,
that.
but now Jeep is
I've
not
had like
so great.
4 of them.
They're going to be like
They're
selling
not
the
so
whole
great.
company.
They are getting worse. And I had like a Rubicon that was lifted on 35s, and I couldn't hoist my daughter into the friggin' thing anymore. She was like 65 pounds, and I'm throwing her into the thing, and I stopped off-roading. So
Right.
anyway, enough car stuff
right.
maybe. Video
Yeah.
games, how about that?
Video games. All right. So we are live right now on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We do it every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can listen anywhere podcasts are. Of course, John, we do weekly bonus shows during the week. Some are
That's
free,
right.
some are premium. And we do PC Outsiders, Micro VGO, a little mini VGO. If people want to support us and get that whole 20-year back catalog, the weekly bonus shows, how do they do that?
That's right. Go to our website, videogameoutsiders.com. When you get there, there is a red dripping premium button. Go ahead, click it, lick it, slam it, whatever you need to do. Go to the next page and go premium. It's $1.99 a month. Once you're a member of Club VGO, you unlock our entire back catalog of 20 years and all the bonus stuff that we do every single goddamn week. Micro VGO, John Show. What are we doing this week, Micro? PC Outsiders
Probably. We just did PC Outsiders, but I do want to mention also we are giving away Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the Discord from our sponsors, cdkeys.com this week. CD Keys is great. They are easy way to save a few bucks and get keys for Steam, PlayStation, whatever. But so all these Sony games are coming to Steam. They plant trees for every game you buy. That's a direct quote. But wait, are you a Matt poop rag kind of guy? We don't want one of those on this show, do we?
I want to bring that poop rag energy because I feel like it would balance out the show. So I'm going to do my best. I just dyed my hair blue.
All right, good. The show, all right, that's good. We can get in some good fights. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from our sponsor cdkeys.com. They have a sale going on right now.
And if you're a premium sub, you get an extra entry. Michelle,
you do. Everywhere you support us, whether it's here on Twitch or if you support us on the app or even in Discord, you get extra entries that are worth more than just +1. So come on down and thank you, CD Keys. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is doing pretty well on Steam already. They said it's like the most popular single player Final Fantasy game concurrent player or something in a while. I don't know. Badger just linked an article. I didn't read all of it, but it's doing well and people like it. It's selling better than the first one that was ported. So check that out and thank you, cdkeys.com. And then, we've got a lot to talk about tonight.
That's right.
Some big
and go
games.
Premium at videogameoutsiders.com.
That's right. Bill is not Canadian. Can you tell us what state you're from? Are you willing to share?
I'm from Doity, Jersey. That's
Jersey. Right. Oh, nice. Another tri-state person because I'm from Connecticut. We've got some Jersey people.
There's lots of drones. We had drones for lunch today. It's been beautiful.
Good. I like Jersey.
Did you see the drones?
I saw not a single fucking drone. I gotta be honest.
Now you don't have a Jersey accent, though. I sound more Jersey than you do. Are you native from there? Or you've worked on getting rid of it, or what? Because
born in Jersey, I lived in the South for a while. I think I moved around enough that I just never acquired any transient accent. I used to have a Southern accent, really bad. They told me I sounded like Forrest Gump, but that's all gone.
Well, that's good. Although that might be fun for the show. We could make fun of you. All right. Well, let's get into our games, and then we'll get into the news, and hopefully.
Yeah. Wait, all right. Let's move on. Let's do our 10-second spotlight, where each of us has.
Buzzing. You hear that buzzing?
I don't hear it.
Oh goodness, it's me. It's my little mini refrigerator where I keep.
That's all right.
What the fuck? All right.
Well, we don't have noise canceling in this program.
I don't give a shit.
No, your refrigerator. It'll start leaking everywhere. You'll have ice on the floor.
Fuck it! I'm gonna take one for the team. I love VGO. Fuck it.
Okay. All right. Well,
is that one of the desktop
like
6-pack ones?
He speaks Jersey fast. He says, "Yeah, we'll see." It would be nice to have somebody who speaks as fast as I do and yells as much as I do, right? It'll be nice if he can match the energy. He said he loves to argue. He sent us a video. He said he loves to fight. So we'll see if that happens tonight. But wait, he's doing something. I think we're going to ruin his floor. Actually,
I don't know. Is it like a 6-pack one or like a bar fridge?
All right, warm beer for the rest of the evening.
All right, here we go.
Send us the bill.
All right, so let's do our 10-second. All right, Michelle, I'm excited to hear what you played this week.
All right, I want to talk about a game called Eternal Strands. I believe it also came to Game Pass, but I did try the demo on Steam. Now, there's been a little buzz about this game. People kind of like it, but I don't know. It's, to me, more Dauntless than Monster Hunter, and I'm just not into that whole world. The movement on it is very floaty. The combat feels like you're sliding around on Vaseline. It didn't connect. So I'm coming from thinking about like a sort of open worldy RPG where you're fighting monsters and doing some light crafting. I'm coming from I want a Monster Hunter feel to the combat and the movement. And this is, like I said, if you played Dauntless or even Immortals Phoenix Rising, it has that sort of look and feel. Some Breath of the Wildness people are saying because you can climb.
Really?
Pull things apart like Zelda's or Link's rather, pulling things apart from the walls, and it's got some little magic-y type stuff. That's what strands are. Those are the strands in Eternal Strands. You've got sort of different magic spells you can use. You have a bow, you have a sword and board. Your mileage may vary with this game because some people do like it. It's not doing that well. It's only, last I saw it had 50 reviews or something. But like I said, being on Game Pass,
33.
having that. Yeah, it's not doing that well, but if you look, a lot of the positive reviews, they're people who got copies for free. So whoever's doing the PR for this game, they're doing a good job.
Literally every product, the top 2 reviews, product received for free.
Yes, exactly. So I'm a little leery of that. And like
demo.
we did have an offer for a key. I didn't even take it after playing the demo. And it's like, it's a smaller team, whatever. But to me, like they've got to get rid of this floaty movement and this floaty Vaseline combat. And I just don't like, I can't connect with games like that. Some people are fine with it, you know, but for me, I'm just pretty picky with combat in games or movement in games. It has to feel good. You have to connect. Yeah. You have to sort of feel like, you know, it matters. Also, like the art was a little, I don't know, Fortnite-y, and there's some still frames where you're choosing dialogue options. It's not animated. It has like I don't know, it just didn't seem done. But I feel like this is a good Game Pass get because there are some people who love RPGs. They're willing to play all of them. They aren't as picky as I am with movement or combat. They're just kind of happy to play every RPG. If you liked Dauntless, check this game out. If you're a Monster Hunter person like me, I would probably steer clear of this because you're going to get frustrated with the floaty movement. That's how I feel. And I think be leery of a lot of these positive reviews because from what I've seen and because my interactions with people who have played seems to be free copies. And I can see that they have a great PR team and they've been putting out copies everywhere to people who do podcasts and YouTube streams and whatever. I'm not saying everyone who likes it is paid. I'm just saying that some of the initial positivity seems to be not so organic.
I mean, honestly, that's not a lot of reviews for how it looks. It looks kind of like a big game, but it's not, right?
It's not,
or is it?
Though.
Yeah, it has a nice look to it. It looks like it's Yellow Brick Games' first game that they've ever come out with on Steam, at least.
If they can tighten up the combat and the movement, I think there is potential here. And we actually had someone in our Discord go, "Oh, I love this game, John and Michelle. You need to try it." So there is some goodness here, but it just wasn't for me. I'm pretty like I said, I'm pretty picky with movement and combat. Floaty stuff I do not like, so I had to pass on that. And now I'm sure you guys have all had a game you've played that is stupid but fun. And that was this next game for me. It's called Escape from Duckov, which is, of course, a play on Escape from Tarkov. And right now there's a free demo out, but you can play for many hours and have a good time. So you're a duck trapped in a dream. And basically it's Tarkov. You get out there, except single player, and you are in this base and they're like, listen, you got to go out into the world. You got to start doing quests for people. You got to start killing these other ducks. You've got to start collecting, crafting, building up your base. And when you die, you lose everything. You're finding blueprints. You can come back to the base at any time and drop stuff off. Like, it's actually a silly, ridiculous game, but...
Is it good?
It's good. I really had a good time with this for a couple hours. Like, if you're looking for... The only thing is it should be co-op. It would be great with friends to, like, do this. But I don't know. Like, Escape from Duckov, try the demo. Like, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's kind of like the load times on loading, like when you loot something, it kind of like takes a while for it to pop up. I don't know if that's intentional, but that was the only thing that sort of annoyed me with Escape from Duckov. Yeah, Jedi, it's stupid but fun. It's definitely like... Okay, it's ridiculous. I'm a stupid little duck shooting things, but it's fun because you have a role. So you're like, and it's hard. I died a few times. Like, I was like, holy shit, these ducks are ridiculous. Well, this duck has a machine gun and I'm bobbing and weaving and rolling and shooting him back and I'm taking cover. You find these interesting characters that are just like, you know, you need to find me 2 eggs and bring them back here. Cause there's like I met a guy named Mud and he's like a swole beef dude and he's like lifting weights in his duck hut and he's like, you got to bring me eggs. I need more protein. You know, so you're just like doing stupid quests, but you're killing ducks in some violent way. And I think like 1 or 2 guys made this and it's just pretty funny. So check out Escape from Duckov, a stupid but fun game. All right. Speaking of fun, but I couldn't play because of just how old it is. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. Now.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this because
yes.
Tell me all about this.
All right, so this game was pretty popular on the PlayStation 1, but it really like got better, I heard, when it went to the Dreamcast. There was a port that went to the Dreamcast where they improved a lot of things. Now, I miss both of these ports or whatever, both of the versions of the game. I'd never played it, even though I did have a PlayStation, but apparently this is basically like the Dreamcast version, but they unlocked more characters. You can now play as all the bad guys too, like Darth Maul or whatever, but they didn't really change much else. Like the graphics are a little upgraded, but it's just kind of basically the original game.
Is it like a third-person just combat adventure game? And,
yeah,
and I see it was on the Game Boy. It was on the Game Boy Advance too, Michelle.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'd only seen PlayStation to Dreamcast, but a lot of people had so much love for this game. I asked around the community, I'm like, what do you guys make of this? They're like, oh, I had it for Dreamcast. I loved it. I can kind of see why. Like, I played for a bit. It's super fun. It's arcadey and fun. And I was playing as Padme and I was killing the first boss and you're jumping and you're shooting. But then you can play as guys with lightsabers like Obi-Wan. And there's like a lot of varied gameplay with the different characters. But I wanted more, like calling this a remaster, which I think they actually do is a bit much. I think for the price, for being a remaster, like they kind of could have maybe done a little more with the graphics or something. But the gameplay is actually super fun. But like if you had the Dreamcast version and you played, it's kind of the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's from a different era too, because like back then, everyone bought every fucking game that had like Star Wars on it. There was less choices in life, right?
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of people just walking around.
I can
with
see
nostalgia.
why this was a blast back then. Are you into Star Wars stuff at all, Bill, or what's your kind of thing? What do you nerd out on? Because we don't really know much about you.
I nerd out the most on Warhammer. I fucking love Warhammer, although
good.
I don't like 40K, which is kind of the main Warhammer. I like the fantasy stuff. I've been trying to get into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but it's so legit medieval that I hate everyone's puffy suits. So that's why I like high fantasy.
You mean the first
stuff.
one, like Kingdom Come, the first one? Because 2 is coming out on the 4th, or is that early if you
Well,
pre-order?
I'm trying to get interested in that game.
Okay.
I actually was obsessed with the first one.
Okay.
I watched videos night after night. My wife got totally annoyed with it until I had 5 minutes with the game, and then I was like, okay, no, I don't want to fucking play this. It's everyone's puffy suits. I just can't stand how douchey everyone looks in medieval times. I don't know why.
They probably smelled
it just
really
bothers
bad.
me so much.
Well, it's supposed to be a historically
Right?
accurate game of the time, right? That was the whole thing. Made by people from the area, historically accurate from the time, and that was what was cool about it. I'm hoping they refine the combat a little bit, because we're going to be playing, I think we have a key to give away for the second one too, John, and like I'm going to be playing the second one. I just want the combat to be refined. It was a little janky, so I do have high hopes for it, because I do love RPGs, but we'll see what happens with that. Well, Warhammer's a good thing to be into. Okay, so let's move on really quickly to my final game. I did want to bring up Darkest Dungeon 2, because they just had a new DLC released called Inhuman Bondage, and I'm waiting for, if Matt was here, he'd make jokes, because he said whatever. But anyway, there's a new character. The Abomination is back, who was in Darkest Dungeon 1. They added a mini dungeon, and there's a new free game mode everybody gets called Kingdoms mode, which I played. And it was actually pretty cool. It's more like, it feels more roguelike, even though the game is. You have this whole kingdom to control, these different tribes to take down. So I've talked about Darkest Dungeon 2 before, but these guys have really done a good job keeping this game up. They continually do DLC,
Is this
free
that game
updates.
where we're in a wagon and it stops every now and then and you battle?
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, it's really more about the turn-based battling. The wagon is just kind of a way that they sort of, whatever. Some people loved, hated it. The wagon is sort of pointless. It doesn't really serve a purpose. The meat of the game is the combat and the fighting, and that's what I like. And I love the art in this game. Like, whoever did the art is just awesome. But I wanted to play another game like this, so I tried a game called Few Nights More. It was just too janky for me, and it was like the worst sounds I've ever heard in a game. It was so offensive. I can't even explain it. It sounded like somebody dragging their nails on a chalkboard for half the sounds, and like tin cans rattling. The sounds were a deal breaker.
Like they
for
did
me.
their own sound design in the kitchen or something.
It's got
Maybe,
reviews, and it's only $7.
I know, but that's the thing, because I was looking for more games like Darkest Dungeon 2 after playing the Inhuman Bondage. I thought, I was like, I want to play more of this. But I couldn't do a Few Nights More. If maybe you guys could play it if you mute it. But I did want to bring up my favorite game from this genre, Iratus Lord of the Dead. And it's $3 right now, on sale from like $30, I think, on Steam. I want to mention this game. I think it's on sale for like another week. If you like Darkest Dungeon 1 or 2, check out Iratus Lord of the Dead. I've done a full review of it in the past. You can search for it on the app or on the web. But $3, like the steal for that game. I mean, I like that game so much. But do check out Darkest Dungeon 2 as well, with all the new free updates they've been doing in the new DLC. And I am just drinking Gold Peak unsweetened black iced tea with 2 True Lemon packets. I put a lot of ice and a splash of water. It's basically watery,
splash of water?
iced tea. Yeah. I like watering down my drinks.
You diluted it.
Yeah.
It's good to hydrate.
It is. It's exactly, because I just like flavored water, and you get your water for the day. All right, John, what did you play over there? What the hell is this? Oh, you got out of the Vatican. Congratulations.
I'm in the Vatican right now.
Congratulations.
Hang on.
You did it, buddy.
Good job, John. We believed in you. Not really. You didn't.
Hopefully I'm next.
I feel like I'm back in a catechism.
I didn't want to leave. You could see why I wouldn't want to leave.
CC says he doesn't believe you. You did not get out of the Vatican.
It's all bullshit, John.
Lies.
You poser.
Yeah, John, what happens
I want to
after
listen to him
Vatican?
again. I want to listen to this.
Luca, io te battezzo nel nome del
Oh,
Padre,
isn't that beautiful?
del Figlio e dello Spirito
I don't know
John,
what the fuck he's
do
saying.
you want to?
It's making me horny. I know that.
I don't know.
I know. Like it's either someone's about to get shot in the head and thrown in a lake right now.
We're bagged in the back room. I don't know which it is.
Or a big
great.
plate of linguine is coming out.
Yum. I'll take the linguine. Pongo
this
is
guy in Puss in
pouting.
Boots. I don't know who's sexier.
It sounds like Sadness, that song I like from the 90s. Yeah, I agree. They said you enjoyed the Vatican a bit too much.
Well, I am Pope John Paul. But
That's true.
okay, so I got out of the Vatican. What can I tell you?
for you,
And
buddy.
the thing
Good
is, I
job.
was very close. I was close, way closer than I thought.
Yeah.
And so I finished the fucking puzzles underneath the fountain, and then I escaped on a Zeppelin. And now for the foreseeable future, I am in Egypt, Michelle. So
Good. That's
I'll give you an
awesome.
update next week if I'm still
All
in
right.
Egypt.
Hopefully
I
you can get out of
anticipate.
Sand in
Sphinx.
your shorts.
So, but I can't say enough about Indiana Jones. Like, it's just, I'm so happy in that world. I mean,
Did you
Raiders
like it,
Lost
Bill, or
Ark.
you saying you couldn't get into it?
Nah, I couldn't. The Uncanny Valley effect. I couldn't take the game seriously. It was throwing me off so much. I want to get back into it again, but
Well,
was
I
just-
mean, I
it
think
was like laughable to me.
Harrison Ford, and I said this initially, it does feel a little off to me, right? And maybe it's the
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley, but like his face is, it's you look at it,
So
that's
close, it's disturbing.
You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, and the voice acting, you can't beat it. But you
It's
know,
great, yeah.
as someone that like worshipped Raiders of the Lost Ark when I was very young and had the VHS tape and watched it a million times, like this is like the dream game, and they do such a good job. And you know why it's so badass, and this is why like the later movies are bad, is because you've got all these Catholic and Christian things going on, and then the Nazis are the bad guys. Like, it's just that the whole combination
That's
of
not
like,
why the later movies were bad. The later movies were bad because they were shit.
but they did like they did like UFOs and like
Yeah,
weird
but I bet
shit
they
like
could have
that.
made it good. It was just they weren't.
Well, I
good.
think I saw Spielberg say that he did not want to go back to the whole Nazi thing. Like he had guilt about it or something.
I
Right.
was always terrified when the guy would reach into the guy's chest and pull his
Yeah.
heart out through
Well,
his
it's
stomach.
That
Temple
was the
Doom,
one I
yeah.
grew up on. That was
Sure.
mine.
Terrified
Right.
me as a child.
It did.
scarred me for
Xtremes.
life, and I just
Yes.
watched Beastmaster over and over after
Right.
that was it.
But this has all the ingredients of. I mean, Temple of Doom was like a prequel, I guess, to Raiders, and then This game takes place between Last Crusade and Raiders, and so it just kind of continue that whole thing. The set pieces, the bad guys, the artifacts, like everything's still in that Raiders Last Crusade world, and it's great. But all right, and then okay, let's talk about some other stuff I played. So Phil. You know, our friend Phil.
Yes, of course. Ozempic Phil
Don't say that.
was.
You don't. He could be on keto, going to Planet Fitness.
All right, I think he's doing a little, taking a little shot.
So, all right. So there was a developer direct. I think Bill, you watched it 3 times.
That's right.
I did. I was doing my best for the show.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Yeah.
they announced a bunch of games, including a new Ninja Gaiden. But then they shadow dropped
Yep.
this Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
And who doesn't love a shadow drop? Am I right?
That's right.
Remastered.
It's well. So this is how I understand it. So Ninja Gaiden 2 came out on the 360.
This
Okay.
was the one you liked because there's
Best
a
console
review
ever.
of it.
No. Okay. The one that really, I have played Ninja Gaiden 2, but the one that really grabbed hold of me was the first one that was
Okay.
on the original Xbox.
Okay.
And I do compare a lot of games today to Ninja Gaiden. I say it all the time, like Neo and all that. And Michelle and I were talking about this. This is part of the lineage of Souls, in my opinion. It's not a Souls game, but it's on the pathway. Okay.
It's hard to
But
go
the
back,
combat's
though.
a bit more action oriented, right? Like
And it's
Bayonetta
faster.
is just
It's
faster.
faster.
One button mashy.
Because I've never played
it's-
these.
It's a Team Ninja game, right? And you know, it's like it's combo based combat, like Dead or Alive, or but that's more like a fighting game, but it's kind of like that type of thing. But I mean, of course, Ninja Gaiden was originally like a Tecmo game on like the NES. I mean, I grew up with this shit. And then the Ninja Gaiden on Xbox was in 3D, and that game was so challenging, so hard. I played that game so many times on so many different iterations of it. Like I loved that first one. And then this game came out, Ninja Gaiden 2, on the 360. I remember the whole opening sequence. I know I've played this game. And then I guess they remastered this game for the PS3 and called it Sigma, and now this is a remastered version of Sigma called Black. So that's my understanding of what's going on
and
here.
It's done in Unreal Engine 5, and I've heard the graphics are way brighter and clearer. Some people like the old blurry look. What do you think of how it looks?
So I played it on my Xbox and on my PC. I think it looks good. I mean, it looks like
the colors are more vibrant for sure.
Yeah, everything's clear and crisp and
and brighter.
Yeah, and everything's clear and crisp, and you don't feel like you're in a hole in a cave all the time. Like you could just like pick everything out. But it's a combat game. It's combo based. You're Ryosha. What's his name? Hayabusa. Ryu Hayabusa.
Something like that.
So you're the Ninja Gaiden dude, and you're basically trying to take down this clan. It starts out in like this Tokyo scene with traditional buildings on top of skyscrapers. It's so badass, the whole beginning sequence. It's like this Blade Runner Tokyo City with all these traditional pagoda type buildings, whatever, on top of these skyscrapers. So it's like this mix of old and new. I don't think it's super hard, at least so far. No. I beat the first boss. I have some complaints about the camera.
Yes.
A lot of complaints, actually, because it's clumsy and sloppy and never where you want it, and you're always fighting it. And I think that's just a hangover from the old game. You can't lock on to people, which I wanted to instinctively do, but I understand it doesn't work with this many guys attacking you from all different directions.
That many gray ninjas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of copy pasta ninjas everywhere. But you have a progression tree, not a tree, but you get your weapons. You can upgrade them at the blacksmith. Like right now, I'm using a staff. I started out with 2 samurai swords. The staff's badass, by the way. You do get a ranged weapon. You have just health pots and stuff and potions you can use at all times, and it's fun. It's accessible, I think, and I actually totally love this, and it's a total surprise. And I really enjoyed it way more on my PC with ultra wide for some reason. Now
Bill,
the
did
Xbox
you play,
version.
You pipe it in. Did you play the Shadow Drop?
I did play the Shadow Drop, and I played it also on ultra wide. I didn't like it as much as John. I felt like it's hard to go back after Elden Ring and all these modern games. It's hard to go back to that. I really freaking hated that camera.
Camera's bad. You get used to it though.
The environments were muddy and weak, and it made me wish that the game had gotten like a more expensive treatment where they kind of redid a little bit more. And
now I'll tell you, initially it did look muddy on my PC, and I went in and adjusted all the scaling settings, and then it sharpened it up big time. Because when I started playing it was fuzzy.
Well, let's be real. They're preparing everybody for the new game. What is it? Is it 4 or 5? What's the new one's going to be 4, right? Ninja Gaiden 4. So that's
I will say the Stellar Blade fans are going to love that female protagonist who gets chained up and kidnapped.
Yeah.
The way that lady was dressed was ridiculous.
I've heard there's some like scantily clad women in this, and it's old school. But they didn't give it a full like treatment remaster because it's really kind of a promo for 4, right? In a way, because people are that was the big news.
I mean, come on, if you have Game
coming.
Pass, this is a fucking gem. You got to play this.
No, it's a good Game Pass game.
But the camera, I mean, it sucks without a doubt. But you do get used to it.
Yeah.
You start to instinctively know where the bad guys are without rotating the camera. Like you just do, but you'll be disoriented many times. They did add this RB thing. If you hold in the RB button, it'll show you which direction you're supposed to go. Because you get turned around so many times in the level because you got guys in front of you. You have guys in front of you, behind you, left, right. You're fighting in the front, the back. Then you stop. They're all dead. You're like, wait, which way was I going? Right? And then you press the RB and it points you in the right way. But I thought it looked good. But Bill, go on the PC though, because the default scaling was at 60%, and it looked fuzzy.
Because I did play it on PC Game Pass. But one other thing I didn't like is when you're holding the block button and you can kind of use the joystick to dash while you're blocking, it would change the way you're facing away from your enemy. And for some reason, that just really bothered me. I wanted to be able to hit back and do like a backward dash and still be blocking in the same direction.
Right.
And that was another thing that really bugged me and felt weird.
Well, here's something that's weird, and this happens a lot with a lot of the Xbox games. Unfortunately, the Steam version of
the DLSS
this game has DLSS. The Xbox Game Pass version on PC does not have DLSS.
Has FSR. Yeah.
Yes, it has FSR, so that's probably why you're seeing, which is inferior to it, and it's probably going to be blurrier, and that's so you could try turning that off.
Well, no, the default setting was 60% scaling, and I changed it to 100, and then instantly it looked better.
This makes sense though, because people are saying it looks better and plays better on PC Steam versus PC Game Pass, and that's the missing the DLSS probably, and that's why I had to buy Pal World on Steam even though it was on Game Pass because they were missing a lot of the features and the servers and the guilds and the this.
Well,
and
Microsoft clearly doesn't want to give them any licensing money for that technology.
They've got to,
right?
Because you've got to make sure the best version of the game on PC is through Game Pass as well. Because I mean, I guess they don't care if people go buy it on Steam because Microsoft still makes money, right? They own this now, don't they? No, wait, they don't.
Well, I mean, the publisher for this is Xbox Game Studios, so
it is okay.
Or at least no, the old ones were. Hang on.
I mean, it must be because it was announced at their event that the new one's coming and we just remastered this. So
no, this is not. This is published by Tecmo.
Okay. Then I guess they don't.
But I mean, there's some history though because the last game was published by Microsoft Studio.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I thought it was a good announcement and a good shadow drop. So good on you.
It's great.
Phil.
It's fun though. I think it's addicting, the combat. I didn't want to stop playing before the show. And then the other game that is addicting that I have, let's talk about it. So Bill, are you familiar with the Tokyo Xtreme?
No.
I'm familiar with these. I watched my boyfriend play these.
And I've since
back in the day
learned to. I left.
Okay,
so
Forza
this.
And
all right. Now I'm onto Gran
PC
Turismo.
exclusive right now. Tokyo Xtreme Racer.
Yeah, and it's early access. So this series has been around forever. I think it started on the Super Famicom. That's how long it's been around, right? And it was. And the last game I think came out on the Dreamcast like 20 years ago, and they haven't made a game in 20 years. Okay.
Yep.
And this is like I think a really big franchise in Japan, and it goes by Shutako Battle in Japan. And it's an arcade style racing game. It's kind of like I'm just gonna like Burnout Paradise kind of a setup with a map and stuff. But this is like the predecessor to all of this, though, right?
Mm-hmm. And what is shit taco that tastes like Burnout Paradise? Yeah.
So this game, what?
Sorry, I wouldn't react.
The game sounded like shit taco, and I said I'd eat a shit taco if it tastes like Burnout Paradise. I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This guy's into poop rags like Matt. I wouldn't dig too deep, John.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so this game's in early access. It's on Steam only.
Yep. But no multiplayer, right? Because I thought the first game I watched, my boyfriend played Dreamcast. It was an open world where you played and raced other people. You flashed lights. Was I crazy? Were they NPCs? He told me they were real people. Did you lie to me? 20 years ago?
Listen, this is what's great about this game. This is a throwback game. The end. So if you miss Turn of the Century, is that true? I guess that would be right. Turn of the Century Racers around the early 2000s or 2000, where it focused on single player experience and not about all the online stuff. I didn't think that one was single
player, though. I thought it was online. You flashed your lights at people and then you could race them.
That's what this game is. The whole point of this game is that you are driving around this map, and right now, the map opens up little by little. I'm in the first big section of it, and I'm waiting to unlock the second one. And what you do is you drive around, and you can challenge anyone on the map to a race.
Yes.
Anybody, okay? And you start out with a very basic car with no tuning, no mods. So right now I have a Mazda Roadster, and what you want to do is you want to flash. You go behind someone, you flash your lights, and then instantly you're racing them on the track.
So that is like that game. The flashing of the lights thing is intense. You're like, shit.
Well, Burnout Paradise did that too, didn't they? But so like the game doesn't stop. It doesn't say, okay, now we're gonna race. You just keep driving on the highway. It never stops. You just keep going. Okay. You flash. Race starts. You have to basically
It's seamless.
Yeah, it's seamless. You basically race that person for like 30 seconds. It's like a time thing or distance thing. It doesn't last long. And basically you have to stay ahead of them long enough to win the race. And they have like both cars have a health bar basically. And so as you're ahead of them, their health starts going down. And when it gets to 0, you win the race. Okay. And then you get money. And that's the whole game. And then but what happens though is that you start realizing, okay, well, so I can't challenge really nice cars right now. So I'm going to challenge a minivan. I'm going to challenge the guy in a truck. Listen, the Subarus, you'll be surprised. Don't challenge those right away. Those fuckers are fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they're not, but okay.
So basically, you challenge the shitty cars first. You get some money, and then you go back to your garage and you start buying, upgrades for your car. I upgrade my engine, my transmission, your brakes, the usual stuff, and then you have all the tuning, and then all the different parts have different tuning. You can change the gear ratios. You can fuck around with the brakes. Are the front or the back more powerful than each other? Do you want ABS on? Stuff like that. And then there's talent trees and skill trees and all of this shit. So the whole loop is you go out in the world, you race, you get money, you go back. But the important thing is you have rivals all over the world, and you're trying to take down gangs of rivals, and that's the core game.
Avatars.
No, they're gangs. They're rivals, and that's the whole gameplay. Really, is there's like 400 fucking rivals in this game, and you have to take them all down. So there'll be a gang of like 5 guys, and there's like varying levels within the gang. So like the low level guys are like level 1, level 2, and then there's like a boss. So you have to like take down the low ones first, go upgrade your car, and then go up to the next guy that's like rank 3, and then take him down.
Them randomly. It's like, oh shit, there's a guy, I gotta race him. Or are you like seeking them out? Okay.
So they're always on the map. But some of them are like undisclosed rivals with a question mark, and you don't know who it is. But the ones that you meet will stay on the map, and if you don't beat them, you can go back and tune your car and then go find them again because they're on the map, and then challenge them. So it's a very...
They have names like Timmy and Tom, or like...
They do,
no,
yeah.
That's
there's
not good enough. Timmy, he's not going to scare anybody.
There's like, I think I was... One of the teams I'm going up against is like the Rollers. I don't know if they're rolling joints or something. But the whole game takes place...
They skate on the weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole game takes place nighttime in Tokyo.
Yep.
You're like on the highway. You can't... And I guess there's like parking garages that come later, but I don't know. But for the most part, I could tell. You're just on the highway in Tokyo with cool night city scenes. I'll say this. The driving is simplistic. It's not like crazy drifting and shit. It's just basically arcadey, old school racing.
Yep. And that's what people like about it. They're saying without the modern baggage of having to do too much, like you're just having
But
fun.
you can do a lot though. There's tons of depth here because you can go ape shit with the car. And then there's like different currencies. So the longer you drive and the more races you win, you get currency to upgrade your car. And then the more races you win, you get another currency that can allow you to unlock different cars and mods in the shop. And then you could also use that currency to get skill points and buffs and all that stuff. So there's all these like systems and trees and things to do.
So you like that progression system?
I do because it's that kind of that carrot that keeps you wanting to play it. But I'll say this,
and racing games have a challenge with that. I think Forza's always been a problem with having a reason to fucking do the next race.
Yeah.
Well, Gran
progression
Turismo
in racing
had that.
games is very difficult. So
Yeah,
that's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean it's $30. I bet you this plays great on the Steam Deck. The graphics are a little meh, honestly. They're a little old school, but they get the job done.
It's early access, though, and people say they have like a kind of, I don't know if they put it on Steam, but there's like a roadmap of like a lot of stuff they want to do.
It's supposed to be completed by May, and I think released on consoles.
Okay. So it sounds like it's good so far, but it's just not complete yet.
It's not. There's a lot here, though. I think you can play this for a lot right now.
Right.
Like there's a shit ton to do. But I'll just say this: it's repetitive. It truly is. Like it's repetitive. You go out, you win some races, go back to the garage, spend the money, go back out, win some races. Oh, I lost to that guy. Need to win some low end races to get some money to beat him.
Go
back to the garage.
Yep.
Yeah. And I literally was racing minivans and fucking trucks and shit. But the racing
I don't mind playing boring cars in racing games. A lot of times I have the most fun driving like the Ford Escort, I don't think it's so bad always.
I don't think a single one of those exists anymore, does it?
They come to my house all the time.
With the buyback program? There's Escorts
Ford
out there?
Escort. No, I don't know. I'm kidding.
The cash for junkers, I think got rid of all of them.
Different sort of escorts are coming to John's house. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean?
I like this game quite a bit. I do.
People love it, and they say it's going to be a modder's dream. And Pongo in the chat's using Reshade, and he said it looks really good, so you can mess with the graphics there too. John, you might want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the graphics leave a lot to be desired, but the racing feels really tight.
Good.
Like it feels good, and there's an offense and defense to this too, because you kind of want to cut off the other players and smash them into walls to beat them in races. And there's like in the skill trees, like you can beef up your defensive ability, like to take impacts better. So I'm sure that's a way you could play the game is just fuck with
any cops
challenge
around? Like, because I just watched Tokyo Vice, recently. I like that show.
I haven't seen any cops yet. I don't think there are. I mean, I would love it if there was like some sort of like purpose to me. Like, can I deliver drugs or something?
I know it always goes back to delivering drugs for you, but
I think that'd be pretty good.
I think
right?
that's a great concept for a game, for sure.
Well, I used to love Need for Speed on the PC, like around this era, like 99, 2000. Like that game was amazing. They could be chased by cops. That was fucking like.
I'm shocked you're into this game though, John. But I'm pleasantly surprised because I know you were.
This is
just not.
I can tell you right now. This would be. I mean, I love Gran Turismo. I love Forza. Okay. I got sick of Forza when they went to the Horizons and the fucking. I didn't like that as much. Do you like the Horizons and all that, or straight up racing?
I dabble in the Horizons, but I want a more serious game. But then when I play regular Forza, I get bored. It's tricky. But I do think that Gran Turismo has that passion for cars.
Gran Turismo is great.
Into it. I kind of switched. Like I have two games that I've switched from. I always played Street Fighter as a kid, and then I switched over to Mortal Kombat because it had a better story. And Street Fighter's never had good story, in my opinion, or never couldn't keep up. And then it's the same with Forza and Gran Turismo. Is that Gran Turismo had the passion for cars. They give you a reason to play. They made me feel like there was a story about cars happening.
Yeah, it's car porn. That last Gran Turismo is
for sure.
It's literal car porn, and they go deep into the history of like the guy that made
Top
the
Gear
car
kind of feel to it. I'm imagining.
Yeah, kind of like
and then they go play it in VR. And it's fucking great.
They go into the history of like this car, the Nissan Skyline was one of the first, whatever, you know, like.
Yeah, they go deep, and I appreciate that. So I'm like actually a Gran Turismo guy nowadays instead of Forza, for sure.
Yeah. So all right, that's it for me. I'm drinking a Partake Blonde NA. All right, there, Bill. What you got going on? What'd you play?
We talked about Ninja Gaiden Black 2. So there's no point in bringing that up. I played a VR game because I'm a VR nerd and a VR believer. And I played Arcane Age. And it had some very impressive things and some very disappointing things. I really feel like a lot of other people, I really want VR to freaking happen. And we get these games that are like 9s out of 10s. And we're like, yes, this is our moment. We're here. The VR fans, like we've done it. And it never freaking happens. And it's so sad. And I just wish there was more money and more.
Wait, which game did you play? This is the Arkham game that came out on the Meta thing?
Not Arkham.
Oh.
No.
What did you say?
Arcane Age.
Oh, Arcane.
It's a different thing. Yes. Although I did download the Arkham game. I have yet to play it because I knew Matt played it. So I kind of left that alone. But I wanted to do something VR as a VR believer.
Well, this looks cool.
It does, doesn't it? It's like every other fucking VR game. It's super freaking deceiving. Yeah. You know, you get in there and you're like, this is going to be so perfect. Look at all this weapon customization. And then you get in there and you're like, nah, it's a low budget VR game. Like every
What's your
other.
favorite VR game? Like just top of your head, quick. Go.
Beat Saber.
I have to look it up because it was like one of the first VR games. Shit. I don't want to take a bunch of time. But what was weird is when VR first hit, we had experiences that were probably the best in VR that we've had since then. And I know we had...
is that true, though? Because I've been struggling with that myself because my first personal, like, real VR experience in my house was the PSVR. And I think back to Astrobot and Wipeout and the shooting game, whatever it was called.
Half-Life Alyx, Curl brings up.
Well, no. But I'm
like
saying,
but
that was later. So the magic of VR for me was the beginning was the PSVR, and it seemed magical. And then when I got the one on my PC, I lost interest in it. Like it just.
I wouldn't call PSVR the beginning. I think there were lots of great games.
No, I understand, but it was my beginning. So
I get it. Well, yeah, okay. So
it kind of wore off. Right, like
that's fair when you first get into it, and it's like a peripheral. You know, it's like having a steering wheel when you're playing a racing game. Eventually, you just don't want to fucking take that headset out and hook everything up.
Well, that's where
I'm at
Move
with
your
Beat
furniture.
Saber.
That's where I am. That's where I am with Flight Simulator because I don't want to pull the fucking HOTAS out and all that shit. Like so, like
I get it. You really got to be a believer. And I've been trying to make an effort to play more seated VR games or play VR in the morning when I want to get like my exercise and get my stretching in and all that other type of shit.
Right. Did you try Flight Simulator?
I love flying in VR, and yes, I did, and it was amazing. I fucking flew over my house. It was crazy. Like that's really cool. It gives you such a sense of presence, and sometimes I like getting like dizzy in VR. I like getting like vertigo.
I know that Wipeout made me sick on PlayStation.
I know, I'm in it.
Wipeout made me. It was the first game that I ever made me sick, and only one. Like I did not like. I do. I need to go back to Flight Simulator because it was kind of buggy as shit. I played like the first couple of days and it was bad. I'm sure it's way better now.
I don't remember having much trouble, but
well, it was an online only game. You couldn't connect to the servers and there was queues and shit. If you remember,
I don't recall. It's been a while, but anyway, Arcane Age is a great looking game. Probably some of the highlights about it are the fact that you can customize your weapons and you can actually take out a fucking spray thing and spray different colors on your weapons and totally make them whatever color you want. And it's not like totally customizable where you can like write your name across your sword or anything, but you can actually, in different aspects of the sword, different areas, you can color customize it. It draws from a lot of the VR great games like Half-Life Alyx, where you can reach up to a healing thing on the ceiling and kind of snap your wrist and it pulls it towards you and then you catch it, which was the best part of Half-Life Alyx. It felt so good to like snap your wrist and catch something that you've picked up off the ground, and that was really cool. And there's a ton of crafting. But I really actually had trouble. One of the hardest things about VR is when you have an enemy in front of you and behind you, and you're like kind of like flailing your shield behind your head while you're like swinging your sword in front of you, and you just feel like a douche, and your wife is watching you from the kitchen, nodding her head like this guy's a fucking idiot.
Like, what did I do?
By the way, the other day I was in VR and I had the pass-through camera on. So I could actually see around the room, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I saw my wife look at me like, "What a fucking loser, this guy!"
Yeah,
while I was like in this headset, seeing my wife look.
You got to
get
some respect back.
One night I fell asleep with my VR headset on. It's tough to be a VR fanboy. It's not easy.
Yeah,
but I do think of the games I played this week. I think that Arcane Age is the one that I'll probably go back to. I think that I started to get used to the combat. I like that you can like kind of parry, stab a guy, knock him down, and then stab him in the chest to finish him off. It didn't work so much for me when I first played it, but when I went back a second time, it worked really well. But it's really the crafting and the customization that I think makes the game really, really cool and worth a second look as far as VR.
So is this just like a third person or adventure
biological
shooter?
Alien weapon with full body locomotion?
First person shooter? Is that what it is?
I had no clue what was going on in this game story wise. But you're like, what was the word? You're terraforming planets and trying to bring humanity back. And there's these weird godlike figures, but you're out there just really stabbing and shooooting guys at the end of the day. But I really didn't like the way the gunplay felt. It had a weird wrist feeling where I had to like point my wrist in an unnatural way in order to hit the enemies. And I know some games have an adjustment for that, like the tilt on a gun. But this game, as far as I can tell, didn't. And I didn't like that. But I do think that I will go back and play it. And I think it was a $40 game, and it was all right. That's all I can say about that one.
You're a VR believer. You're going to keep at it, I guess.
Have you ever gotten
faith.
like gun accessories and shit for VR?
I have looked at gun accessories.
I want
them so bad.
Like the Pavlov guys,
yeah.
Like I've done some. I had the gun stuff for the PSVR, but I know like on the PC it goes way deep with the gun shit. Like,
yep.
And there was one game I played. I don't remember what it was called, but it was some like PUBG style game. I remember I was laying on my stomach down here sniping from a tower.
Yes, I've done that.
It was really fucking
awesome.
It was pretty badass, honestly.
Yeah.
And like I was on my stomach on a tower
on a roof.
Yeah,
we've all seen your basement, John. That's
I love that shit, man. Your feet are like kicking the wall, but you're like in it.
Yes,
for sure. No, I love
that was memorable, but
yeah.
I mean, I could, yeah.
Well, I just think the way I look at it is like when we used to play Doom back in the day, which I'm sure we'll talk about Doom later. we couldn't even look up or down, and it was tricky in the early days of first person shooters. And I just think VR is the same way. We got to get through all this bullshit. You know, first person shooters were not prolific when Wolfenstein and Doom were out, and we just got to get through it, man. We got to keep the faith, you know.
We'll see. It's all about those glasses, like the goggles.
It
like you
is.
say.
Can you hear my bell, John?
I
Yeah.
can.
You hear that?
That bell is that's like a very aggressive bell. That's a Jersey bell.
I brought 2 bells. I wanted to
right.
bring that big bell energy.
Uh-oh. John wants to be the only bell in the room. He wants to be the only bell.
Sorry, too late. My masculinity is too strong.
It's all right. Your wife will respect you now. She's not going to give you those looks in the VR
I hope.
headset. She's like, he had the biggest bell.
I doubt it, but I hope.
So what else did you play?
The last game I played was Orcs Must Die. What is it?
Death Trap?
Orcs Must Die. Death Trap. That's
Yeah.
Okay,
Just-
yeah, I
Or
saw
as I like
that.
to call
Is
it, OMDD.
Is it good? Because people were kind of shitting on
No.
it. Okay.
No, and I've always been curious about Orcs Must Die. Not curious. I've always kind of dabbled. I've played
curious.
it, and
yeah.
or curious. Yeah. I played it by myself, and kind of what always bugged me is that for me, the judgment of a game of whether I'm really going to play it, if it's a multiplayer or co-op game, is whether I can get Sherry, my beautiful wife, to play it with me. I'm sitting here at a dual person computer desk. I got 2 widescreen monitors in front of me, 2 computers set up, and I'm just always dying for her to come down and hang out and play and drink a little bit of whiskey. So I did get her to play at 2:00 today. We came down and we played some of this game. But what really bugs me is I love this game. I've been playing it solo, knowing that I need just one other person. And then this game comes out and it feels like you have to have 4 people.
Yeah.
And it's like a rogue. They've kind of, every time, you know, Robot Entertainment, who are the people who made this game, who really just made this game and then another game called Hero Academy, which she always kicked my ass at, which is a great game, but they had bad luck with free-to-play games, and they really couldn't sustain any of their games. They all got shut down. Hero Academy. I think they have one called Ready Set Heroes that might still be around.
I've heard of
but I'm not
them. Yeah,
sure.
this is different than the other Orcs Must Die games, though, because, yeah, it does look like you need more people. There's more going on, and people just don't like it. It has mixed reviews. I've dabbled with them, too, like the original ones, because I do like tower defense stuff. But it seems like this isn't the one to try, but it's on Game Pass.
When the first one came out, I think was it like Xbox or something? Yeah, it was 360.
Yeah,
Was the
these
first
have been
one
around.
single player, and then they introduced co-op in the second one? Do you guys have a thought on that?
I don't remember. I know
The first one came out in 2011, and I remember playing it on the
2011,
Xbox.
Yeah.
yeah.
They used to be kind
That's
of
a
fun,
long time
but
ago.
They haven't. They all graphically they look the same. You're doing the same thing. I don't know if this is the right direction for them.
Yeah,
but
it's like incremental progress.
It
Yeah.
seems like a
They've
mobile
made
game
throughout
or
these.
something.
it-
Or
yeah. There's just
it
better
should,
stuff
should
to
be
do
free
co-op.
to play though. It looks like a game that should be like.
Well, they can't make free-to-play work. Robot Entertainment, they just can't make a game work. They had Hero
Yeah.
Academy, and they had a game called Orcs Must Die Unchained, and it failed.
Yes.
They had to shut it down. So
Yeah.
they just can't make free-to-play work. They can't make it work,
What are
unfortunately.
you gonna
It
do?
seems
Sell
like they're
orc
going for
skins,
that
John? Like, I mean, how do
Fortnite
you
world.
have
I
a
don't
battle
know. Like
pass
how
for it?
how
Like,
everyone else. Well,
Yeah, I
first of
just
all, you
don't
need
know
the
if
game. You need the gameplay first for
Yeah.
free to play, and then the
we have
skins
to have
come
like
later.
mass multiplayer battles of like huge, because you got to show off your
Right.
skins to everybody. Nobody cares if your friend sees it.
Yeah,
But another
and
Game
this one,
Pass
the
get.
maps are really, really big. It feels like you need to have 4 players. Because the maps are so big, even from the very first level, it feels like the traps are less meaningful than they were in the first 2 games. It used to feel like you were really doing something when you put something down, and now it's like, well, they're coming from 50 freaking angles. I don't even know if this arrow shooting wall mounted trap is going to do anything. And that's really what happened. We just kept losing. We couldn't get past like wave 4 of level 1 as a 2-player team. And I've played this week, I played the second and third games, and I was able to play on my own and get through several levels. So
Well,
it
how
just
old
really
is your?
felt really hard.
You have
but they're
one kid,
calling
one child. Maybe you got to start training them early. You got to get the 3.
My kid is pretty good, Josephine.
All right.
Hello, Josephine. I love you. She can beat Ori in the Blind Forest 1 without dying.
Okay,
I'm
good.
very proud.
Because I always
Proud
play
gamer
games
dad.
with my dad and sister, and sometimes we get my mom in. But I mean, there is something to be said about those just games where you can just play co-op. There's not enough of those just 2-player games. A lot of the times it's
For
like it's either
sure.
solo or you just need 4. So if you need 4 to play this, that's not fun.
It's a bit much. I got to have more children. That's a lot.
That's true. Just have them to
It's a lot of
game. They can be
groceries.
farming for you. They can
That's
farm.
right.
Wow.
That's what they used to do back then. They have kids to farm.
I would just
right?
have a whole
And now
like sea of children like
different-
farming in PoE. You know, it's like
I
Elon
know.
except cheaper.
It's still farming, but just different kind of
just
farming.
different kind of farming, and maybe they'll get a couple of bunk beds in the corner.
Paul,
All right, so
I've been farming all day. I got gold.
oh, back in the day, those are the good times. All
Put
right, what are
it
you
in
drinking,
the
Bill?
AH.
What did your lovely wife make you?
that?
Because you're one of those guys who likes to bring up their wife a lot. So tell us what she made you. Tell us the drink your wife made you. Or she's just cracking beers,
My
right?
wife did not make me a drink. I
All
actually
right.
cook all the meals, but my wife was kind
Wow.
enough to cook dinner tonight.
She's
She made
whipping your
spaghetti
butt, huh?
meatballs.
What else you doing for her, huh?
But
You
I'm
doing the
not
laundry,
done
Bill?
talking.
Come
I'm
on.
not done talking, so I don't want to say what I'm drinking yet. Although there
Why?
are
Is
two
it a
drinks.
secret? Okay.
Well, you know what I want to say is that this whole third host thing is totally rigged. I just want to say, Michelle, you've been totally unfair to me.
I have.
I gotta say.
I'm fair to everybody.
First, you
I
stopped
just hate
playing my
everybody. It's not just you,
voicemails,
Bill.
you know, and that
I'm
was
not the one who
not
controls all
cool.
that. Yeah.
This is so rigged, and I just want to say, then you made up this hoax that I didn't fully commit to the show this evening, and
I
that
don't think
was
anybody knows
not
what you're
good.
talking about, Bill. It's just an inside joke. Bill didn't confirm with us
I'm
till
trying to
last
do my
minute that he
Trump,
could make
Michelle.
it. I know, but nobody knows what you're talking about, Bill.
Finally,
This is-
You tried
Jesus,
to
it
have
sounds
Matt
like a gay
McMuffin
Trump.
on the show. You tried to have Matt
We
McMuffin
did,
take
but we
all
dropped
John's
the Canadian
attention.
loser. You should be
Not
happy,
cool.
right? We're all American right now. We're all American. This
That's
is
right.
Good. All right, so you
American
drink
Finally-
first.
beer?
When I do become the third host, or like I like to call it, the third leg of the show.
Okay.
The big, tall,
Yep.
semi-crooked third leg.
All right.
I think that I will change the premium button from an unlickable rectangle to a perfectly round, juicy, round circle button.
I mean, I could
think
do
it'll be
that. I
great.
could change it. Yeah. But let's see if you get. I mean, now that you've used a bell, I feel like John, Bill's out, right?
I'm done.
You're
Am I
done.
fired?
You're just.
Is this it?
You've used
Guys,
a bell.
scale of 1 to
I-
10 right now. Am I a 3?
I mean,
Or
I
how are we
like your
doing?
energy, Bill. I feel like we could get in some good fights. You know,
I've got
which is-
real third leg energy,
Yeah.
Michelle. I'm
this
telling
is
you
good.
now.
You know, I like people I can
gonna be
spar
great.
with. So, all right, well, let's move on to some news and that Xbox event that I know we all kind of watched. John, I think you looked at some of it. And Phil was going around. He talked to a couple of different podcasts. He talked to Dustin or whatever the hell that other guy's name is. He did this big hour-long YouTube interview. He was talking about the new philosophy for Xbox is, look, we're done with this whole, old thing where we're pushing Game Pass. It's
Yeah,
kind
the
of really all
future
about
is
getting our
games
games
everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was
And
beating
they're
that drum.
and they're
Games everywhere.
Like, we don't care what screen you play this shit on. Like, they basically said that. Something just like that.
Yeah,
Like,
everywhere
it's
is an
just about the
Xbox, that whole
screens.
thing. Yep.
We got the screens. What do you need? LG.
Yeah.
We got it.
To
Phone,
keep
got
games
it.
off of
iPad,
other
got it.
platforms is not a path for us. It doesn't work for us, he said.
It makes complete sense.
It doesn't. He's right. What works for them is
Yeah.
selling Indiana Jones on Steam and PlayStation and Starfield when they do it, because we know they're gonna. So that's what's working for Xbox. Now, Bill, you watched this event and you've been paying attention. What's your take on Xbox and where they're going? How do you feel about it? Because we don't really know your view. We know where John and I are.
I mean, I think I'm mostly positive on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the South of Midnight frame rate sucks.
Yeah, it's
No, I
supposed to
think
look
that
like stop
it's a
motion,
weird-
right? Yeah.
It's a weird choice to make for a game. I think that low frame rate thing worked for like the movie Spider-Verse as an artistic choice, but I do think it was
Yeah.
a budget choice. And I wonder why they made that choice in a video game. I think that's really weird, but I do like the art style. My biggest game that I'm excited about, obviously, is Doom: The Dark Ages. I've
Yeah, it
loved
looks
Doom
good.
for so long. I'll never forget when I first played Doom 2. But I think I worry a little. I left this in my voicemail that I hoped went through, that, when we put a leather hooded cape on Master Chief, it didn't end well. And I worry we're putting a fur cape on Doom Guy. And it's like, why does this guy need a cape? He's wearing
A little
like
dash of medieval is good, though.
temperature-controlled suit.
Yeah,
but it looks cool. It looks badass.
It looks
But
really-
also
you know,
weird that
it's
he has a
I have faith
loincloth.
in Doom. But
It makes
we'll see.
sense, though. It's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Did you guys
rock and
finish
it's like
Doom
rock and
Eternal?
roll type shit. No.
I did not finish them, but I've been playing them since I was a little kid. Like, I have love for Doom in my heart, and like I'm more of a
I was a
medieval
Quake guy,
person.
honestly, personally, but yes, Doom's cool too.
I feel like
So did either of you finish Doom 2016?
I don't think I finished
No, I was a
any of
Quake
them.
multiplayer game guy. That's who I was.
Yeah.
But I
Quake
think
Quake.
I would
I
finish
loved-
this one. We'll see.
I loved 2016. I thought it was a great comeback after like Doom 3 was really difficult for a lot of people. How can you not have a flashlight and a gun up at the same time? Why don't they have duct tape in the future? There was all of that. But I love 2016, and I just felt like what I feel is sometimes when you add on to Doom too much, you fucking ruin it. So like now, I love the gun where you shove the freaking skulls in there and it shoots a bunch of skulls. And I love the medieval armor. And I think the cod piece is a little bit weird, how he's got like a loincloth over his cod piece, I mean to say. But I think when it comes to like flying a dragon and piloting a mech, I don't want that in Doom. I just want to load a gun up with skulls and mow everyone down. But I like the idea that they're bringing strafing back, and I think it would be really cool if John did like a Justin Timberlake version of the song "I'm bringing strafing back." Yeah, you know.
Like on it. Now, did you like Warhammer Space Marine? Because you're a Warhammer guy, and it sounds like you like shooting and shit. Did you play that one yet?
Here's what happened with that game for me. I went back and I played the first Space Marine game all the way through, in the run up to the second one coming out. And then the second one came out and it didn't have widescreen support. And so I didn't play it, and I haven't picked it up since.
It does now. So get on with your wife and play that one. That one's fun.
I know.
The Doom internal gameplay though was almost like a rhythm game.
Like, the dance, the movement, the combat.
And it took away the freedom from the player. I felt that there were like certain guns you had to use in certain situations, and you had to like, oh, I'm low on health, so I got to rip this guy's head off. Or, oh, I'm low on armor, so I got to burn this guy with my fucking flamethrower. And there were like 50 different buttons. But what I noticed is they actually took notice of that, and they kept repeating, this is all done on one button. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but during that show, they said, you're going to parry, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and it's all on one button. And it felt like they were speaking directly to me, because I was like, I can't fucking keep track of all these buttons. Am I like too old for this or what? So I'm really excited about that. And they said, you know, what was it? In the first one, it was run and gun. In the second one, it was jump and shoot. I don't fucking know. And in the last one, it was like, you're going to stand and fight. So I'm excited to sit still and do some strafing. You know, but yeah, that's how I feel about Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm excited.
I hear you. I mean,
Really
the getting into like, I don't know, mechs or whatever, maybe whatever. Hopefully it's just one scene or whatever. But I think it's going to be good. And I mean, they showed Doom: South of Midnight, Ninja Gaiden 4, but Expedition 33 coming to Game Pass was a nice surprise for me, because I mean, this is the game that sort of looks like Metaphor, Persona, but in like a fantasy world, and I'm very curious about this game. I like the way it looks artistically, but I don't know if I'm going to love the combat. But Expedition 33 was a surprise for me. I didn't think that was a Game Pass game, so I thought it was like a good presentation. The developer direct. I don't really care about seeing behind the scenes with, you know, what's really going on. Don't worry, I'm talking about the art.
Seeing the guys in the cowboy hats drawing the images on the screen.
I don't need to see the guy doodling on the screen. I want to, you know, I don't need to know what he ate for breakfast, you know, or the plight of everybody. But I think, you know, overall, I think Xbox is in a good position with their philosophy of just getting good games and putting them places. John, what do you think? You're feeling good about Phil and where Xbox is
I mean,
going?
I have no problem with it because it doesn't affect me. Right, so if the shit's on Game Pass or PC, PS5 or PC, it just gives me more choices where to play.
Phil was saying that we're like the only people who games are everywhere. He's like, nobody else really has that philosophy.
Listen,
he's like, what a console is has been redefined. You know, and he kind of teased the Xbox handheld again, which I know I want to ask Ben Heck
about. It's coming. It has to come.
What like, he thinks it could be next week.
Right, but look at this weekend. So like, I played Ninja Gaiden upstairs. And I just knew I didn't even have to think about it or question it. I can come down here and continue my game. That's my experience now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And I had the same experience.
Is that the reason to own an Xbox? Because people are saying like ask Phil, like, why own an Xbox?
That's for me. It is.
I haven't turned mine on in months.
I have no problem doing this scenario where Xbox living room, PC downstairs, play the first party games anywhere I want, continue where I want. You know, the downside is obviously the Steam Deck. I can't bring it there unless I put my Windows SD card in, but if they do a handheld,
Though they had a big thing in the front of their presentation, and some people were calling them out on it. So it started off saying that all games you're about to see are in development, they're not final products, whatever. That was a new warning. But then they said all games are available on day one with Game Pass. But that's not technically true because only Game Pass Ultimate is day one now. But they did say that. And then they said Game Pass Core and Standard do not have day one. So that was like the technicality they didn't mention. And that's not even counting like the pre-order bonuses or whatever where you get it.
Well, I know you're
early,
salty about that, but that is
I'm salty about that. But they said all games are available day one Game Pass. That's how they open the event, and that's not technically true. It has to be.
Well,
Game
I know.
Pass Ultimate.
I had to pay. I had to pay Indiana Jones to pay. I had to pay to play that early.
Personally, Indiana Jones.
No, I had to pay
Yeah.
to get the deluxe edition.
Right.
And all I
That's
got was like a
shitty.
fucking outfit. I
Yeah.
got nothing for that.
Also,
Like
you
they
can play
literally
early.
gave me nothing.
It's not
I got
technically day one, but my issue was the fact that
first
it's
hour,
going
you're
to be
just
Ultimate.
packing a suitcase.
Yeah,
they
you
gave
didn't
me a
even get out of the
temple.
Vatican.
No, I could change
Game
him
is
to
such a slow starter.
the Temple of
It
Doom
was.
outfit I have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got some art book or something. And the thing is, you can't look at the
Yeah.
art book because it's all spoilers. As soon as you open it up,
Right.
it's spoilers
Great.
right away. What? So
You know, he has a whip, and then the whole game's ruined. But no, I think they're in a good position. Look, I think that, John, like you are like the best case scenario Xbox user here, because you'll probably buy a handheld too, and then you can play on your handheld and play in your living room, play on your PC. But PC users with handheld PCs
That
can do that
ROG
too.
Ally, you can get it for like $370
That
on
one
eBay,
looks good.
man. I've been looking.
I'm
I've
waiting
been
for
looking.
Steam Deck 2.
I
I'm
think
just
that
gonna
thing's
do it.
outdated. I think I think the Steam Deck and that thing, I think we're on the cusp of the next iteration
Yeah.
of these things.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well, my
too
Steam Deck, the screen died. I'm so mad.
Really?
I went through customer service.
Do you have the OLED
I updated
or-
the BIOS. I don't have the OLED. I have the original. I updated the BIOS, and I went through customer service for like 6 months, and they kept making me go back and do the same things I had already did. I started out telling them everything they wanted to know, and they kind of like drug it out, and now they won't cover it. So I got to go on iFixit and get a new screen, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah. I mean, you're a handy guy, so you should be able to do it, right? You're working on cars. What's the difference with a car and a Steam Deck? It's no big deal. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But that
Ben Heck
sucks.
could fix it for you.
That's right.
The
Maybe
parts
we'll
are
get
kinda
lost.
tiny.
Lost Ben Heck next
Different
week.
set of tools.
I did wanna,
with cars,
you know-
you're like hitting shit with hammers and everything.
That's true. It's greasier. All right, John. Sorry,
No,
what were you saying?
Oh yeah.
No, I was going to tell you that Phil.
Oh, did he? He did it?
Well, he gave me money.
Oh, did he?
Phil gave you money.
Yeah,
come
I
I
told
get
you
anything?
about this. I told
I
you
didn't
that.
get
I want money
Phil-
from Phil.
Yeah.
I got like this message on Xbox saying,
Okay.
"Thank you for playing Madden. Here's 500 Madden points and a $5 gift card."
Right.
Shit.
$5
Why did he
gift card
do
for the
that?
Xbox store?
Can I get this?
Yes.
Guess you got to play Madden. John's
It's
got
like
the
because I participated in the holiday Madden thing. They gave me 500 Madden points and a $5
Kiwi says
gift
you're
card.
the only one left playing Madden. That's why they felt bad for you.
They're just, here's what it
Just give
says.
this guy
Thanks for
$5.
participating in the EA holiday campaign. Here's your code for Madden NFL, 500 Madden points usable, and then we're also giving you a $5 gift card, which you could use to buy games, add-ons, and more from the Microsoft Store. So
Are you going to spend the Madden points?
I could buy packs, sure.
Do you think you'll use them?
I mean, maybe.
They probably already expired. That's the way those
Yeah,
$5
really.
things work. Like you have a week to
That
do
is
it.
how
It
they
has
do
to be
it.
on a
I already-
purchase
I
over
already
50
read-
30 days. and
I
you're
already
done.
redeemed it.
What'd you get? Why don't you tell
Well,
us?
good for you.
No, I got the 500 points in my account. They're waiting
what
for
about
me
the
in Madden.
$5 though?
I haven't done anything with that.
That's what I'm saying. You better quickly check that.
Oh, I have
because
to
bet
spend it
goes away.
within 90 days.
Yeah, see?
There you go. There
We
it
knew
is.
Phil
What am I
is
gonna
not
buy
as
for
nice as he
$5?
seemed. Nothing, because I bet it
Nah.
has to be a minimum of $25.
Feels like, hey,
Go buy-
baby,
You sound not nice.
We gotta get you coming back in the store, baby.
I said
in the next
Phil,
90
but-
days, not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Come on. 90 days, baby.
Well, you got free money, John. Go spend it. Go have a good time. Phil loves you.
What should I buy for $5?
He does. Phil loves us all, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Go get the
All right,
Avowed pre-order early. Because Avowed is next
How
month.
do we feel about Avowed?
I don't
guys?
want to play
I'm
that
worried.
shit.
I love RPGs.
Because the
I'm
pronouns?
really worried. Oh, I didn't even know there was. No, I don't like the art, and I don't like the original tone of the game.
What are you
the first
talking about? You
trailers,
didn't know there was.
pronouns in Avowed.
Yeah, you knew about that shit, Michelle.
I didn't.
Come on. Be real. Don't
I don't
lie.
think you see your character. You're like a first person, right? I
No,
have no
the
concerns about that.
guy, the guy.
But don't you love
There's
Obsidian?
an artist
though?
who's a weirdo. I like Obsidian. Like Grounded was great. The original
Yeah,
tone.
Grounded was
of-
great.
The original tone of Avowed in the first trailers looked dark and kind of dark fantasy, and then it slowly went into like bubblegum, like Fortnite purple, and now it just looks
It
a little
looks a little
janky
bubblegum,
combat wise. They did delay it, and they said they worked on the combat, so I'm not crazy thinking it doesn't look great because they themselves delayed it, said the combat didn't feel tight enough. It wasn't. So I'm worried. As somebody, like I said, I play games where combat is really important to me. If the combat feels good, I'm in. If it feels like jank, I'm probably not gonna want to play much, but I love open world RPGs. Obsidian has made good games in the past, although I hear that team has
Yeah.
moved on and these are different
It's
people.
not open world.
Well, whatever. Open world.
Which I'm fine with that.
It's a hub world, John. It's not technically open. There's different portals you go through. What is it?
Well, that's what happened with Dragon Age.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually didn't mind Dragon
Age.
Age's semi-open zone.
The combat in that was fun. It was.
I didn't mind the combat in Dragon Age.
I was a caster, and I felt like a Jedi.
Yeah, no, it was
and I liked
kind
it.
of arcadey and fun, but it wasn't Dragon Age combat. But we've kind of had that debate. But I think Avowed, I don't know if this is going to blow people away as like a badass RPG. I think it's a good Game Pass get once again. It's an RPG to try, but am I confident to tell people to go spend $70 on it right now? I honestly don't know. But we will be doing a roundtable review of it. And I mean, Bill, you think it looks mind blowing?
Outer Worlds was a limited game, wasn't it?
Outer Worlds,
we all like that, right? Is
I think it's different people. Those people left.
We didn't like that. Matt did.
Matt might have. Yeah. I wasn't as blown away as some people were, but I didn't give it like.
I wasn't blown away, but I thought it
okay.
was okay. It's.
I think it was well received. I think it was well received.
Hammered home very hard.
Really? Well, oh yeah. I mean, I don't pay attention to any of that. I just want to play the game. Yeah, I don't even remember bringing it up. But
no, we never talked about that.
Avowed is more about like looking at the combat. I don't even care about the crazy artists they have that hate the gamers, like whatever. That's not the problem. The problem is for me, like that tone shift. I've been talking about it for a while, for years. That first Avowed trailer, I was like, hell yeah, they're doing a fucking Elder Scrolls game. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. And then like the next trailer was like, oh, okay, it kind of looks like
the next trailer was we're going to own the chuds.
Well, I didn't even know about that. Actually, it doesn't look great, but maybe it will be. We need stuff. I got Monster Hunter coming up though.
I want to mention about the lack of the Oblivion remake at the Dev Direct. What do we think about that?
Well, then it doesn't exist, right? Or are they scared of Sky Oblivion? Because it's not confirmed then, right?
Right? Sky fucking Oblivion. That's
Sky Oblivion is going to come eat their cake anyway.
But why do you think there were so many rumors about that being a big thing and then it just disappeared?
Maybe they had heard that there was a remaster coming.
It could be months away.
Maybe the remaster coming was
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake is just around the corner.
They could have heard like an announcement of a remaster's coming, and they assumed that.
So you guys still want that? Like,
I don't know if I need it. With
I know Sky Oblivion's
coming.
exciting, but like it feels like that's like a million years away. Are we excited about? Is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be this year.
I'm reading news stories today that Gears of War E-Day and Oblivion remake.
How hard will it be to play Sky Oblivion?
Oblivion remake is just going to be the same game with like. It shouldn't be bad if they package it, but Oblivion remake is probably just going to be Oblivion with like better textures. It's going to be one of those remasters that's just like, you know what I mean? It's not fully rebuilt like Resident Evil 2 remakes. I don't think I'm going to get that excited for Oblivion remastered, but I will for the other game. But we'll see. I mean, I'm open to it. Oblivion was on one of my top 10 most favorite games, or when we did that thing. Like I have love for Oblivion. I want to play it again. I think you said you like Morrowind or whatever. You'd love to see those redone, the old ones or something. Yeah, you seem
to agree with me in the Discord that I think Morrowind needs that way more. It needs it.
Yeah.
So would you be more excited about a Morrowind?
Yeah. It definitely is. And so Morrowind would be cool too, because I mean those old Elder Scrolls games were great. But yeah, will we get it?
Man. That's the
I don't know. I haven't played it in ages, but I mean that's like those are the things that really need it. I think they need, look, we need the next Elder Scrolls. I mean, to have them put that much energy into doing like a true remake, I'm concerned about the next Elder Scrolls. Well, what did you think of Starfield?
I had a lot of trouble. I couldn't get the fuck out of Aquila City. It was like being in this weird Midwestern town in space, and I just couldn't get away from Aquila City. Like
it was too many buttons to do something. Too many load screens.
And I got sick of the inventory management.
Yeah, it was bad. There's a UI fix for that with mods, but then the mods abandoned it, and I hear you.
And I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to play the game. Like I played Oblivion, like I played everything else. And I really had a hard time, and I wanted to love it. And there were things I really liked about it, but I had to step away and just be like, I can't, I got to uninstall.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, we were all sort of there. None of us, even Matt didn't like Starfield, you guys. If Matt hates something,
I thought he was going to come around for that. So, Michelle, I want to talk about this muzzle. This gamer muzzle.
Yeah, I saw this.
I've seen this before. This story's been floating around for a while.
Sure, it's one of those meme stories.
We never talked about it. So there's a $139 gamer muzzle that you put on, and it basically allows you to. But it allows you to like talk.
She could. I talk about games a lot.
But it allows you to scream and talk and chat without anyone hearing you.
Oh, I could use this.
That is so dumb.
Points in my
What
life.
about a mute
Yeah.
button? What the fuck?
No,
what are we
like
doing here?
It's like if your husband's playing Dota next to you and screaming. Like she said, she put it on her husband. She said, "I put this on my husband because he was playing Siege and screaming and Dota and screaming, and now I couldn't hear him." So that's what the author.
Can you go to
says.
like an internet cafe and just like
maybe
play
if you
Dota
can't
all
keep
day
it
with
together in an internet cafe? I mean, I don't know.
No, but also this would you couldn't hear you chatting with your friends too, right? Like
no. Well, I mean,
yeah, I think so.
it's meant so other people don't have to hear you.
I have
so
to
I think
see
it's
this. I need to
that.
look this up.
It's
Here's
the
the
Meta
PC
Docs
Gamer article.
It's the
that I'm
Meta
talking-
Docs
yeah.
Ombra OMBRA. It's $139. There's two sizes and a left or right microphone port. It includes a sound dampening
What
mask.
Oh, there's
has
a
a-
mic
it
port
had-
right into it. Okay.
I know. I was telling you that's the whole point of it. You could talk and scream
is
and talk
some,
to your
like,
friends.
BDSM shit. This is some weird.
I mean, it probably
does.
is. There's like a ball gag
It looks
in
like you
there.
should have like dog ears on when
Yeah.
you're wearing it. Like
the guy looks like he's smelling his own breath in an uncomfortable
Yeah.
way.
I mean,
This is crazy.
I definitely. I mean, I've yelled a little bit in games, but I'm not like totally frantic. I'm not one of these people that would need this. Some people do go ape shit. So, but there's got to be better methods.
Well, my daughter yells at like midnight at all her friends on her games, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Fuck yeah, man! Get your game. Go ahead."
Right.
Scream.
I could see
Have fun."
kids screaming and the
I would
parents
never
like,
muzzle anyone who's
No.
a gamer. Gamers should not be muzzled. I'm taking a stand. Fuck that.
you got to let it out. And 140 is too steep for this.
That's right.
But yeah, if you have rage in your
Yeah,
house,
140 to shut your husband up.
I know. There's
Just
there's
have a
easier ways
talk.
to shut your husband
That's
up other than buying him a
crazy.
muzzle. But we won't
This
get
is
into that.
amazing.
It is. It's great.
so Xbox apparently
Yeah. What?
accidentally included.
What'd they do?
Now this is an ongoing story, Michelle.
It's breaking.
Yeah. So
Breaking nudes.
my Xbox Game Pass, the Twitter account, had to tweet a correction that said, "Oops, this was our bad. Blizzard's World of Warcraft was accidentally included in a Game Pass email.
Oh shit.
Even though it's not available at the service, a correction email will be sent to those who got the original email."
So maybe they were floating the idea that WoW would be on Game Pass in Ultimate.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
no way they do that though. They're going to lose too much money.
How is that possible when you have like 20,000 abilities and like 6 buttons? I don't get.
Oh,
how
you have
that
a
can
million
happen.
buttons. You have a keyboard, and you also have like Alt or Control
Oh,
or like a Shift
true.
click
You
or
can
something
hook
like
up a
that.
Keyboard.
Well, WoW is a keyboard. It's a PC game.
Yeah, but Game
everyone's using a
Pass is on
keyboard.
PC. So, but
Yeah.
So, but here, look at
Oh,
this.
I'm
Look,
sorry. I was thinking of Xbox the console because we've talked about.
but
Yeah,
hang
no,
on
they just
though.
mean
Look
PC.
at
Go ahead.
look at this image though that they accidentally also. Hang on.
Oh, shit.
I'm looking at the image. I can see it. Are you ready to plunder? That's Plunder Store.
Yeah, they're showing the
Yeah.
console in the image.
I mean, they shouldn't have included that. It was just they got mixed up because WoW is not on console and it's not a part of Game Pass.
You know they're talking about it, and I've been
Porting it to
saying
the
that
console
it's
would be a
so
problem.
obvious to me for so long that this should be on the fucking Xbox, especially now that they own Blizzard. Like it makes complete sense. And so, okay, put it on Game Pass, but you still have to have a subscription. Is that how you do it? You get the
Yeah, but they
expansions for
wouldn't.
free.
I mean, there's still millions of people paying $15 a month for WoW, so they're not going to just.
no, I'm
do
saying
that.
you get the expansions for free, but you still have to pay a sub if you're on Game Pass.
Maybe that
Isn't
would be a nice. That would be nice, sure. But they're never going to get rid of the subs, right? I think that's where they make their cash.
Or do they have tiers? If you're Game Pass Ultimate, you get a discount.
Maybe a
Right?
discount, yeah, or whatever. What else is going on? News-wise,
It's
we've
coming,
all
though.
heard about Ubisoft laying off 185 employees. They shut down the UK studio that worked on Dragon Age and a bunch of other stuff, Skull and
Avatar
Bones or whatever,
and- yeah.
Avatar. So, I mean,
Shit.
All shit
10
games, honestly.
Tencent needs to come along. I mean, people in our Discord were saying, I think Ted was saying he wants Microsoft to buy Ubisoft. Do you think that would ever be in the cards, John? Or what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, they got the cash, but
It ain't going.
they're probably sitting there going, "Oh, we just went through all the Activision shit. Now
Yeah,
we
we
got to
don't
do it
want
with
this
Ubisoft."
again.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
No.
that was a war for
gonna be
like
Tencent.
2 years,
Yeah,
right?
It
like,
was. Yeah. And we didn't even know if it was going to happen at some point. And it was just like,
Yeah,
now that it
and
has,
Jim
yeah.
Cryan was losing his fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
It would take us 10 years to make a Call of Duty.
Well, you had SOCOM. Drop
I
the
know,
ball.
you fucked it all up, dude.
Well, Phil actually said in one of his interviews that their largest fastest growing segment is the Asian market, so Xbox in Asia, but that doesn't necessarily mean the consoles. It just means their games. And he also said cloud gaming is exploding for them. So they had this totally different philosophy he sort of got into. And it was interesting to hear, like, of course, that metric can sort of be twisted to whatever you want it to be. The fastest growing, biggest, the Asian market doubled, but that could mean you had 2 people, now have 4.
Well,
But
that's
Phil
true
was-
because
yeah.
well, we used to see the Xbox game sales like in Japan.
Yeah.
Like they were selling like 30.
Exactly. But he said, I think it's more than just the console sales. He was talking about how just like, I think Game Pass in Asia overall, or just like the games that they're making selling there. Because let's take a look at, are they Ninja Gaiden 4? Is that theirs, John, at all? Or it just happens to be, or is that one going to come to Game Pass too? 4?
I don't know.
It is?
I would think so.
Oh, it's not? Okay. So there, it's weird though, because they announced it at the Xbox developer event.
Yeah.
That it was coming, and that's like normally
No,
something
it'll
you think
be
you'd see at Sony.
Yes, it'll be on Game Pass.
It is Game Pass. Okay, so then you have something like that, which is going to be huge in the Asian
Play
markets.
day one with Game Pass fall 2025 Ninja Gaiden 4.
There you go.
But
So
with Game Pass.
he sort of went into that and said, like, we're kind of gunning for the Asian markets now, and like that's an interest to us. I mean, a lot of these games, the big games, are coming, from the Asian markets. So to see,
But Ninja
Xbox
Gaiden
competing
has
there-
a history with Xbox though. It just does.
Yeah.
Like that first Ninja Gaiden Black, that was Xbox.
They're returning to it. That was the unannounced game, by the way, because remember they said there's an unannounced game coming, a Shadow Drop, and we didn't know, and we thought it was Oblivion, but of course it was Ninja Gaiden. So any news you wanted to bring up or you want to talk about? I'm just looking here, either of you guys, like what's going on out there? There's not really tons.
I got no news.
No news.
So a leak
No
listing
news.
saying the Switch 2 could be
No
less
news.
than $400. People are saying they don't believe it.
I would love for it to be 350.
I don't
I'm
think
very
so.
excited for it.
I want it to be.
I don't think it
you-
will be though.
I-
I think you're
Yeah, I
right.
don't think so.
I want it to be
No.
a nice premium product for $450. And then they
That's
can
way
lower
too
it.
much for Switch people. They're not going to do that.
I would like 4. I think it looks like a grown-up.
It does.
Switch.
It looks
like
the
a
same.
Steam
It's
Deck.
just
They
bigger.
tried
and
to
it's
make
black.
it look more grown up, though. They
Not
definitely tried
really.
to
It's
make
the
it.
same fucking
That's what they're
thing.
going for.
Yeah, but they made it all
for it,
black
I
and
think.
sleeker, look thinner. I think
It's
it's
the
definitely more
same
adult.
form
They're
factor.
trying to compete with the handheld PCs, John. No way. That
They
is
are.
It looks
does
the
not
same.
look as kitty.
Listen, the
It does
handheld
not look
PCs
as
copied
kitty.
them.
It's not about that, but now they're
They
inferior.
did. That's
But
true.
the Switch
They
is
brought in the
inferior because you can only play
renaissance
Switch
of handheld
games on
gaming.
it.
Yeah.
So they're competing with that. And when Matt McCarthy, your lover, went to Japan and said that there was a sea of handheld PCs and all the
Matt
Japanese people
McMuffin.
were interested in them, Mr.
Right.
McLovin. So Nintendo feels that pressure, especially with emulation. I
don't think
Bill's
so.
right
It
that
looks
they
exactly
tried to
the
make
same.
It look
It's just
slicker.
black and bigger. That's all it
But
is.
that's a choice. That's a conscious
Well,
choice.
you
There were
know,
10
a lot
guys
of
in a
people like
boardroom.
black and bigger, John.
They do.
Let's just be
it
honest.
sells well. But the thing is,
Can we
like,
be
that-
real?
they were in a boardroom and they said, "What color do we want to make this look kitty? Do we want to make this look?" And they said, "All black. Let's do this slick." And I think it does look more adult. There's no question.
The last one was black and
it's true.
gray. It's not like a big departure. They just
Well, they
Yeah,
also
it had
came
the
out with a bunch
colored
of colorful
Joy-Cons.
shit.
Though. They had a lot of colorful
Yeah.
stuff.
no. That
and it
was
looks-
later. That
and
was
the
later.
Joy-Cons kind of popped off and
And
it
they
was
also
kind of
had
kitty and
fucking
plasticky
drift.
looking. Yeah, this looks more adult.
Okay,
There's no
fine.
question.
All right. But 450 and it's
450
good.
better be OLED
I'm okay
because
with it.
why am I people going backwards with it? They,
I
you know what
hope it's OLED. But
You gotta
I
launch
honestly
OLED.
didn't see a big difference between my first Switch and my OLED Switch.
Are you fucking
Boy,
crazy?
don't be
about
one
the
of those
OLED Switch.
people. Can
I
you
know.
I see
I don't know
past
what
30
insane.
frames per second, Bill?
I
Come on.
didn't see it. I know. I'm so
no,
sorry.
dude,
Playing in a
it's
bright
not.
room. Yeah.
Listen, when I got the Switch OLED and then I got my first Steam Deck, like the Switch made it look fucking stupid, like vibrant wise.
Yeah.
Especially when I went outside, it was like Jesus Christ, this Steam Deck looks like ass. And then now the OLED, obviously Steam Deck's great, but the
Yeah.
OLED Switch is way better than the original. Like it's
I
so
guess the problem is I
rich
gave
and
away
vibrant.
my old Switch to my best friend Jim. Hi, Jim. And I guess I couldn't
You weren't
compare them
side-by-siding.
anymore. And I just couldn't side by side.
Yeah, well, you missed the side by side, and that's
I did. I missed the
It's,
side by
a, it's a
side.
fatal
My
mistake.
bad.
We all do it. The side by side and
Fatal.
Yeah, I think
Gotta
OLED
have
looks
that side by
better.
side.
And if people have an OLED Switch now and they go and they're excited and they buy the new Switch and they are side by siding, they're going to be pretty let down if for 450, John, they don't
Yeah.
get that OLED. So
now
we don't know
now,
if they're launching with it.
and
Though.
Gadget's asking the question:
Mm-hmm.
what if the Nintendo Switch 2 is too big?
Oh, come on.
Because it's like 20% larger.
It's never too big. Relax your
It
muscles.
can never
you
be
get
too
used to it.
big. No, I mean, what do you have, baby hands? Like what?
It's too
Yeah.
big.
Come on. What do you, a
I
chick?
definitely had trouble with the fucking Joy-Cons and my hands. I got mechanic hands.
Well, that's why I always play with the Pro Controller.
Every dude said the Switch was too small for their hands, so making it.
I don't use the Pro Controller. I use a fucking Pro Controller. I don't use the
Joy-Cons worked well for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought the Switch was comfortable,
use a Pro
but
Controller.
I can see how it do problem.
Well, we heard that you have ET arms and very shrunken hands.
I have long fingers, but my hands are not large. But I have long, graceful fingers. I do not refer to them as witch fingers like John does. John is just jealous because he has stumpy fingers.
That's what I heard.
I do not.
You have stumpy fingers.
There's 500 videos with my hands.
I'm turning
They're
to Seinfeld now. I don't know. But no, I think the Switch looks sleek and more adult. But the price, there's already people like, I'm not paying $450 for this. Screw that. I'll go get a handheld PC. I think they have to be cheap.
I said this months ago. Make it badass.
Yep.
Charge what it's worth. And the thing is, you can always lower the price next Christmas, the Christmas after, whatever.
Or a bundle with a game.
If this thing's going to be around for 8 years, let's start. Let's start high. You can always go down.
I've never heard someone
John,
say this.
Is Mario Kart enough?
Price it high.
Yeah.
No.
Is Mario Kart enough for lunch?
Oh, he's belling you. He's belling you, John.
I'm bringing the fucking. I got big bell energy.
John, I'm just gonna tell you,
I'm here
John
to
is
stay.
not gonna like you. You are using your.
Guess what? I'm shooting my shot. I'm ringing my fucking bells. I don't give a shit.
John,
fire me if you want. I'm here to ring the bells.
Quiet. John,
I don't remember what the question is.
Yes. Is Mario Kart enough?
Is Mario Kart enough? I think. I'll be honest. Right. I think yes. But what do you think?
I think it's a week launch.
I think it's enough for the kids. Kids love Mario.
But it's
what if it's fucking amazing though?
I think it will be good. It's the best-selling title on Switch, so it's already proven itself. But
that's what I'm saying. It's their moneymaker. So so let's say they come out with Mario Kart right off the bat. What's the next game that you think has to come out in the next quarter or whatever?
There's supposed to be a remastered Zelda original. Right? Like the first Zelda's remastered? That was the rumor,
Breath of the Wild remaster, and then maybe an Odyssey 2. Yeah.
What about an Ocarina of Time remaster?
They've already done all that shit like 10,000 times.
But Nintendo will do it again.
What if they really redid it and fixed the camera, though? What about that?
I don't want to play that game anymore.
I do, because I couldn't fucking play it.
Play the 3DS one. It's fine.
Is it? All right, maybe I'll try that.
I don't know. For me, it would be like a new Animal Crossing and Zelda. Those are the games I like. But Kevin says a new Mario game is obviously coming as well. There'll be a big new Mario game, probably for the holiday, John, maybe. Like that's what they'll go for with a bundle. But
yeah.
I thought you didn't like Tears of the Kingdom, Michelle. No?
I don't really, but my Nintendo-ness was always more Zelda than Mario. I liked Zelda 1 and 2, the originals. I even liked the little Zelda remake that I just played. The Link to the Past, and then the other one with the same engine. What was it? The Echoes of a Distant whatever. What was that one, John?
Echoes of a
Distant Wyndham, whatever. I kind of like that.
Echoes of a Distance.
Yeah. I haven't played that yet.
You give me a little dungeon crawling. It's okay. It was actually cute. Like, you give me some dungeon crawling, I'm down. Like, that's my Zelda-ness. That was my childhood. I watched my sister play tons of Mario. I played a little Mario 2. I didn't have an N64. I was into my PlayStation and my Sega at that point. So for my love for Nintendo, my nostalgia is get me a Zelda that feels more like a Zelda, not a builder crafter. My concern is they're going to keep going to that builder crafter zone.
Well, then you'd like the Ocarina of Time remake
for me.
Yeah, and I play survival crafts. I just don't know if I need them in my Zelda. That's all. But I know a lot of people liked it, so we'll see where they go. So for me, I want to see a new Animal Crossing and a new Zelda game, but that will happen. Thank you for subbing, Kane. We appreciate it.
That's right. All right, get us out of here.
All right. Well, if you want to find us online, you know where to find us. But Bill, where can they find you? Do you want to promote anything or share your YouTube, or what are you doing, or what do you want to say before you get out of here?
I have a very weak YouTube channel called Bill's Garage. Okay. I may start doing more video game videos, but mostly if your fucking car is broke, I can probably help you. So Bill's Garage on YouTube. And thanks again for having me, guys.
It was awesome to have you.
All right, Bill, thanks for hanging out with us.
Check Bill out. He joined our Discord. At him with all your car questions. I want you to go in there right now.
That's right.
At Bill.
Oh, God.
Fix your, because, John,
throw them away.
Just ask him all your car questions.
It's a piece of shit. Get rid of it.
He'll tell you I'll go to buy a BMW, apparently. Now, if you want to find us during the week, come to VideoGameOutsiders.com. We do weekly giveaways in our Discord from our sponsors, cdkeys.com, giving away Final Fantasy VII Remake this week. Next week, I don't know what's on the line. We got a bunch of games coming up. We're going to have Monster Hunter. We're going to have Pirates of the Hawaii Yakuza bullshit game. John, you're excited to play. We've got tons of stuff coming up from cdkeys.com, so join our Discord and go premium on our app for 20 years of the back catalog, as well as weekly bonus shows. There'll be one up tomorrow. John, we're going to be doing it. I don't know what it is, but we do it every damn week. We appreciate your support. You also get extra entries into those contests. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, John. Anything else? Let's get out of here.
That's it. We're done, guys. Thanks for subbing, liking.
Like us, thumbs us up.
Thanks for licking and slapping, everybody.
Thank you.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you very soon. Video Game Outsiders out.
When the city's got you down, come to my arms, come to my arms. I will take you away to another. Take you away to another place. But I feel so low. Your sister came to give me